Sup, Nerdmigos? I'm the Jive talking nerd John Norgrove, and this is Nerd Jive, your new tri-weekly nerdy news source. First news today, space poop. NASA is offering $30,000 in prize money to any home inventor who can come up with a solution to their waste problem. Currently, our astronauts wear diapers when in their environmental or space suits. NASA's predicting that upcoming missions could take as much as 6 days, and they've not crossed that threshold into evil yet so far as to make people sit in their own waste. To come up with a solution, they're asking all of us, come up with an idea. Figure out how to deal with this poopy space problem. So if you have an idea or a concept, or you think you might be able to come up with something, you have until December 20th to submit your ideas to NASA, and you have the potential to win $30,000. Now, I personally have thought about this for as little time as humanly possible, and the only thing I can come up with is creepy, creepy tubes. I don't like that answer. I hope that's not the future of space travel, but it's probably gonna be the future of space travel. If you have an idea, send it in. You might win. If you do, let me know. If you don't send it in, and you just have an idea, or you equally think creepy, creepy space poop tubes, put it down in the comments below. Let me know what your thought is. Next up, nuclear diamond batteries. All right, so at the University of Bristol, these chemists and physicists have come up with this structure for man-made diamonds that, when put into a radioactive field, emit very small amounts of electricity. When they tested this, they used nickel-63, but they would like their finished product to use carbon-14, something that is a byproduct of nuclear power plants, as well as most countries having a fairly good stock of left over from the process. Now, these batteries would produce a very small amount of electricity, but they could be used for things like long-term weather drones, or possibly satellites moving beyond the reach where solar cells would become useful. All right. Another idea that they came up with was that it could be used in something that would be difficult to replace a battery in, like a pacemaker. Now, the diamond structure is so encapsulative of the carbon-14 that no radiation would get out, so it would not cause any harm. Carbon-14, if you were to touch, could cause harm to your skin in its raw form, but when encapsulated in this man-made diamond structure, would be perfectly fine for internal use. As well as, these batteries would have a half-life of 5,730 years. Bucky balls. I don't know if you remember those little toys, Bucky balls. Tiny, spherical, neodymium iron boron magnets that were marketed towards adults. In 2012, the Consumer Product Safety Commission, or CPSC, called them a substantial product hazard and banned them. Bucky balls went out of business. Zen Magnets LLC endeavored to continue the lawsuit to continue to produce these. In 2014, the commission ruled that there needed to be specific strength controls and specific size controls on magnets sold to the public. These magnets, if ingested, could cause serious injury. If they got into the intestines, they could snap together and would pinch the intestines. The only way to get those out would be through surgery. So they were taken off. This year, a Colorado appellate court overturned the 2014 commission's findings, stating that the research that they had done on ER visits directly relating this was inaccurate. They were making too many wide-spanning guesses. They did not look too closely at what they were, at specifically what magnets were involved, how they were involved, and how serious the case was. Yes, there have been injuries about these, and yes, they should not be played with children. I have a set of them myself. There's no way I would let a child play with these. I wouldn't even let a fairly childlike adult play with these. But with the commission's ruling of 2014 being overturned, these may come back into sales. Keep an eye out. It'll also be interesting to see what Zen Magnets LLC does in the future. Are they simply going to allow this overturn to be the way it is and just start selling their product again here in the United States? Or are they going to try to push further? Are companies like Bucky Balls going to try to come back? It's interesting to see these sort of court cases get overturned, to see how maybe simply not having the necessary warning labels and not allowing children to use them may be beneficial, as opposed to outright banning them. Let's all pray for Star Trek Discovery. Okay, so Michelle Yeoh from Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon was the first cast member officially announced for Star Trek Discovery. Recently, it was been reported that she's going to play Captain Han Bo of a ship called the Shinzo. Now, we know that Star Trek Discovery's been pushed back from its original January 2017 release date to May 2017, if memory serves. We also know that the show no longer follows the captain of the ship, but instead the first officer, a female that we are currently having called Number One, in homage to Majel Roddenberry in the original pilot, The Cage. I am obviously a huge Trekkie, and I pray, God, I pray that this show is a success, but CBS isn't giving us a lot of faith that even they have faith in it. They're putting it on their standalone network. It's being released slowly on Netflix outside of this country. Inside of the United States, we can't watch it on Netflix. We can only watch it on CBS All Access, which means you need to pay another $10 a month for some sort of a premium service. That being said, I pay for it, and I totally am going to watch it when it comes out, but still, it's taken more fans out of it. It's not following the captain anymore. What does that mean? I hope, at least a little bit for comedy's sake, that the captain is never shown. And when they are shown, it's like Charlie Brown, you know, where the captain's around a corner or behind a desk or too tall for you to see, and you just get the blah, 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 kind of like that. That would be great for me. It's not Star Trek, obviously, and that would be upsetting. But at least they went for the comedy goodness. I'm hoping that CBS knows what they're doing. And if they don't, maybe we can get that Worf-centric TV series that we always want to get. So let's see if that works out. Lastly, there was some bad news that happened over the weekend in the science fiction community. Ron Glass passed away on November 25th at the age of 71 due to respiratory failure. He was a great actor. He's probably best well known for his role as Shepard from Firefly. But he was also in Star Trek Voyager. He played character in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. He was also in the 80s version of The Twilight Zone. And I wanted to finish today's news stories on this to remind us of these greats in science fiction and similar genres, but with him specifically, it reminded me of science fiction. These greats in science fiction that are going away, and to appreciate the ones that we still have. You know what? Throw on an old episode of Twilight Zone and watch them in it. Throw on an episode of Voyager and watch these guys in it. It's so often we consume this kind of media, this entertainment media, and we don't really think about the people that are working so hard to bring it to life. And he was one of those people. He worked so hard to bring it to life, and it is truly sad that he's left us. Alright guys, those were our 5 nerdy news stories for today. This is Monday, November 28th, 2016. My goal for this show is to, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, release a short 5 to 10 minute video about a couple of news things that piqued my interest. If you have something, send it to me. Let me know. I'm more than interested in learning something. When I speak of nerddom, I speak of all forms. Science fiction, fantasy, computer science, and physics. I speak of your wine nerds and your beer nerds. Your collectors and your builders, your DIYers. Everybody's a nerd in my mind. Find your nerddom and share it with the world. This has been John Norgrove of Nerd Jive. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in 2 days.